person who told me to talk louder is my adopted big sister. That's Carla. She's also been cooking and making things happen. Give Carla a big hand, everybody. Also, Dick's, Carla's partner in crime and husband, Dick Gasperi, over there on the grill. There's Dick. How'd y'all like that wonderful music? That was awesome. And so I gotta thank a lot of people, y'all. It's gonna be a long list. Can you bear with me? All right, good. Thanks for Governor Dayton, who's coming. Thanks for Bobby Joe Champion, who's around here somewhere. Thanks to Frank Ornstein, who's right there. Thanks for Patricia Torres Ray, who was here. I'm not sure she's still here, but give her a hand anyway. Jeff Hayden, Ray Dean, John Quincy, Diane Halstead, that's Hodges. Also want to say big thanks and recognize some folks who are throwing their hat in the ring so that they can help represent our community. And it is a labor, so I'd just like to recognize them. Mark Andrews here with us. I saw Mark a little while ago. Here he is. Also want to recognize Linda Higgins. Linda? Yeah. Also want to recognize Joe Mullery. Joe, where are you at? There's Joe back there. Also want to recognize Ian Alexander and Brett Buckner. Yeah, they're offering themselves for public service. Appreciate that. Andrew Johnson's here with us today. Bob Fine, the park board is around here. Bob, where you be? There's Bob back there in blue. And Scott Vreeland is here. Scott, where are you? There's Scott right there. Also, Robert Lilligren's here. Lisa Bender's here. Alejandro Cano. Dick Mammon of the school board is here. Mike Obermuller, who is stepping into the ring with John Klein. Mark Obermuller, everybody. John Irwin of the park board is here. Minneapolis Mad Dads are here. Melissa Franzen is also here. Where's my Senator Franzen? Where you be, Melissa? And Charlie Maguire is here as well. Charlie. So look, everyone, I just want to share a few thoughts with you, if I may. Oh, Jeremy Kalen's here, running for Secretary of State. Jeremy Kalen. I said Senator Hayden for the second time. Senator Hayden. He's got people who love him. He got 2 shout-outs. All right. Let me just say this: our country has people who fry the chicken, who take care of the lawn and the grass and the landscape, who file the papers, who type them, who deliver the mail. We have people who work in the factories. We got folks who do all of the hard work that makes this country run. America cannot run if working people are not there making this country function. The folks who deliver the meals, the folks who serve them, the people who teach the classes, drive the trucks, the people who do all of the hard work to make this country go. And I think that at least one day we ought to just stop and say all together, thank you. Let's say it again. Thank you. Say it one more time. Thank you. That's right. And I just want to be perfectly clear. I am 100% and tirelessly committed to raising the minimum wage all over this country. We got to raise the minimum wage, y'all. Right here in Minneapolis, but also all over this country, We have knocked doors, and I've even stood with fast food workers who are on strike because they can't survive on $7.25. These folks in Minneapolis, in New York, in Milwaukee, in Detroit, all over this country, saying, look, you know, we're not teenagers in high school. We are people who have babies to feed, people who have rent to pay, folks who have to take care of the responsibilities of family. We're the ones who make the food. We're the ones who dump the donuts. We're the ones who pour the coffee. We're the ones who make the money. And as the folks who are at the very tip top of these companies, the corporate CEOs are making record profits, maybe they can kick a little back to the people who actually do the real work. The bottom line is, you should not have to work 2, 3, 4 jobs to support one family. And we've got to make sure that we never forget that collective bargaining is a basic human right. Collective bargaining is a human right. And somebody wanted to challenge me on this and said, well, where is collective bargaining a human right? I said, well, let's try the First Amendment under freedom of association. That one works for me. I hope it works for you. Freedom of association. Thank you. Little water. Appreciate that. And I hope that today, as we come together, we have a little bit of barbecue, we hang out a little bit, we listen to some awesome music, we share some fellowship, that all of us leave here as ambassadors for working people. And when we go into conversations with our people who we work with, and they say things like, well, you know, these pensions are too big, and they say things like, well, these folks, they don't deserve more than minimum wage. They say these kind of things. I hope all of us will speak up and say, wait a minute. How is it that the folks at the CEOs deserve a pension, but the working people don't? How is it that the CEOs deserve a fair retirement, but we can't have Social Security for people who work hard their whole lives and pay into it and earn that benefit? We've got to stand up for working people, guys. And we've got to open our mouths up. I believe so firmly. You know, I hear people often say to me, they say, Keith, you know, how come nobody is saying anything about whatever? And the bottom line is, if all of us take communication as a personal responsibility, then the word will get out that workers should be paid and should be treated with dignity. That jobs should be safe and workers shouldn't have to lose their lives. And that this country of ours was built by people who put their arm to the plow. Now, I just want to say before we invite up my favorite governor, Mark Dayton. Before we invite up Mark Dayton, I just want to point out something that I think our governor could appreciate. And that is 50 years ago last week, Americans of all colors gathered in our nation's capital. And they formed what has come to be known, and what was known then as the March on Washington for Jobs. And you know who paid the freight for that March on Washington? The UAW. The UAW. Maybe other unions did too, and I hope they did. I don't want to leave anybody out. My point is, labor paid for that march. And I'm telling you, there's a reason why labor and civil rights movement came together in a mighty partnership to fight for civil rights and jobs. It's because labor rights are human rights. Yeah. Labor rights are human rights. Martin Luther King famously said, what difference does it make where you sit at a lunch counter if you cannot afford a hamburger? This is an economic question, and our country has seen the gap between the haves and the have-nots grow as wide as it has ever been since the Gilded Age of the 1890s. Inequality is a threat to our country. It is a clear and present danger to our nation. Working people, as a group, have seen their wages stagnate over the last 30 years. And this is why I was proud to support a governor who said, that we're going to ask everybody to help pay the cost of government. I was proud to stand up and say, you know what? Everybody should help pay the cost of government, not just the folks who don't have enough lobbyists to get them out of it. Right? Everybody should do it. And it is not, and I'm going to tell you this, we used to talk about the 1%, the 99%. I believe we should talk about the 1% and the 100%. There are well-to-do people in this country who believe in fairness, who believe in justice. Don't believe it isn't true. Because I've run into some working class people who don't understand that we need to stand up for working people. Am I right or wrong? We've got to convince Americans that work has dignity and is worthy of fairness and the proper compensation. We've got to let everybody know that as we strengthen the American working class, they won't just have greater economic strength, they'll be able to have greater political strength that will help reorder this tilted society that we presently have to buy. So let me just say, as I wrap up, I'm looking over there at my man Brian Elliott, who was our first district director. Now he's a leader at SEIU. How you doing over there, Brian? How you doing over there, Jerry? I just want to say that my campaign, I'm just talking about my campaign, and by the way, how you like our new shirts, by the way? Yeah. That's kind of weak, man. How you like our new shirts? Now turn around, Jamie. It has my name on it. But I'm going to tell you why it doesn't have Keith Ellison emblazoned across the front. The reason is it's not about a person, it's about an idea. And the idea is everybody counts. Everybody matters. Everybody counts. Everybody matters. Everybody counts. Everybody matters. And whether I'm in office or not, still everybody counts. Everybody matters. And we should fight for this always. I'm not trying to create no personality cult. Believe that. I believe that no leader can really claim to be one unless they're inspiring leaders in other people. You understand what I mean? Don't tell me how much of a leader you are if you're not building leadership capacity in everyone. Because all of us are inspired and endowed with that great ability to help guide our society to a better place. Y'all agree with me on that? So let me just say as I wrap up, this really is my last point. This kid, they're like, sure it is. Sure, yeah, right. So I just want to say this is my last point, and this is really, really important. So I run every 2 years. In next November, I'll be on the ballot again. If things stay like they are now, we're feeling pretty good about our chances in November. Okay, I've announced right now I am running for re-election. And look, I'm a progressive Democrat in a progressive Democratic district. Right? So yeah, say you, that's worth clapping right there. This is the 5th congressional district, right? We believe in equality and fairness for all here. But what I want to say is it going to help us in the 5th congressional district if our governor has to win in a recount? No. Will it help our district, the 5th congressional district, if Senator Franklin has to squeak by in another recount? No. So the highest concentration of progressive Democrats is in the 5th congressional district. If we turn out the vote, Governor Dayton walks back into office. No problem. If we turn out the vote, Senator Franklin glides back into office so that he can do something. And don't ever doubt, even for a second, that elections have consequences. They do. Because I believe it was 2010 when we kind of got beat up pretty bad. Am I right about that, Frank? And then those guys take the majority, and then what's the first thing they do? They put an amendment to be voted on to change our Constitution to tell people who they should get married to. As if that was the government's business at all. And then the other thing they do is they say, we're going to put barriers in front of voting because, actually they knew that seniors, low-income people, people of color, students probably would have a tougher time voting if they put those barriers in the way. And they put them to change our Constitution. So the second they get a chance, what do we see? Mischief, troublemaker, bad behavior. So we came back strong 2 years later, 2012. And let me tell you, we didn't go the way of Wisconsin.
We didn't go the way of Wisconsin.
We didn't do the Wisconsin thing. We did another kind of thing. What we did is we got a Democratic majority with a Democratic governor. We brought forth some awesome legislation. What about the right to organize? Is it daycare workers? Daycare workers. What about that? That was a good one. What about ban the box? Give us some more here. Help me out, you guys. Air quality, fair tax. So look. No shutdown. No shutdown. What's it? Oh, the nurses bill. Yeah, the housing bill. So what is my point? What is my point? My point is, whenever we start thinking, oh, there's no difference between Republicans and Democrats, we're staying home, we're not inspired. If we do that, we lose. But if we get revved up, pumped up, ready to go, turning out the vote, knocking on every door, going to every apartment building, calling people, working it, getting the artists involved, getting labor involved, getting everybody involved, leaving nobody behind. When we say we act on the principle of everybody counts, everybody matters, in elections, we turn out the vote, we win statewide, we beat back ugly, nasty constitutional amendments, and we make Minnesota the coolest, most progressive state in the United States. If we don't back down, and if we engage everybody, and if we include everyone, there is nothing we cannot do. I now give you the coolest, most progressive, nicest, best dressed governor in America. Put your hands together for Mark.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Congressman. Sounded great to me. I can just take the next 14 months off and graduate and do it all. Great to be with you here today. I walked past some really outstanding legislators and candidates here, and I remember when I was in that situation, somebody come walking in at the last minute and getting called up to speak. It made me madder than heck. So I apologize to all you folks, and I hope you got recognized. Because as the Congressman said, we got a great DFL legislature, made a huge difference, freedom to marry, raising taxes on the richest Minnesotans, increasing funding for education, increasing funding for economic development, incentives, and jobs. You go right down the line of all the things that are possible because we have this kind of DFL leadership in our legislature. So thank you all very much. Congressman Ellison, thank you for your phenomenal leadership. You know, it's just great to have someone from Minneapolis in the Congress that we know we can count on when the chips are down and stand up for what's right for Minnesota. Since I now live in St. Paul, I'm not taking a side on the mayor's race in Minneapolis, so I duck out of that one. I'm sure you all will make the right decision. There are 437 candidates. You know, this is about Labor Day, and tomorrow, you know, is the 127th annual Labor Day in the United States, recognizing the contributions that working men and women have made to the prosperity of our country, the advances, the well-being. But to me, it's a hard time because you look at look at what's happening in this country that's being taken away from people, and it's exactly that: the prosperity, the social cohesion, the well-being of working men and women, and therefore of this country. You know, there's an article in the Star-Spangled today that says over 40% of the workers in America, and this was a year and a half ago, so it's probably gotten worse, over 40% describe themselves as free agents. They don't work for a company, they don't have a career, they're free agents. Well, now, free agency is nice if you're Adrian Peterson or Jared Allen. But you know, right now in the National Football League, there are over 700 quote-unquote free agents. And they're the guys who get cut the last day. They get now to have to compete with each other for maybe a handful of positions that still remain. The rest of them are just cut loose. They have nowhere to go, they have no safety net, they have no source of income. That's what free agency is like for most people. And that's what it's like for most working men and women in this country. And here in Minnesota. And in fact, the article says it's going to get worse because many of the large corporations are going to take advantage of the ability to shuck off full-time employment and to hire more and more people on a part-time basis so they don't have to provide health care, so they don't have to provide retirement benefits, so they don't have to provide job security. And that's where we're going to lead this country. That's where we're going to go to. I just, you know, I don't understand why those who have that position of authority and responsibility just fundamentally don't get it. Just fundamentally don't understand where they're driving this country to. You know, we raise taxes 2% on the wealthiest 2%. You know, average income of over $500,000 a year. Made off in the last decade, like, just unbelievable. And yet, we're destroying the business climate. We're driving businesses away. We're supposed to continue to cut funding for education, for things that people need, and let our taxes become more regressive. And if we do anything about it, otherwise, we're somehow undermining the strength and the security of this country. Well, I say it's just the opposite. I say, hey, making people pay their fair share of taxes strengthens this country. Investing that money as we did in early childhood education, in all-day kindergarten, in student tuition freezes, both the MISCU and the university, in addition to student aid. I'd say all that's investing in the future of this state and this nation. That's the way we need to go. That's the DFL way to go. That's what Keith Ellison is fighting for in Washington. That's what I'll continue to fight for in St. Paul. That's what these terrific legislators will do. And if we have another chance to continue to move forward, we're going to do even more. So that's what next year is about. It's about preparing to do even more, winning an election so we have the wherewithal to do that. And your being here today is very, very encouraging because it says we got the base of support we're going to need to succeed next year. Thank you very much.
Rock Dayton, everybody! All right, everybody. So, Carla, I know you're up, but we got to hear a little bit about. I've been approached, and I think it's a worthy thing to do, to talk about just the mechanics of ranked choice voting, so that folks can really start to learn about that. But here, go for it.
All right, hi, my name's Roanne Kramer. I'm on the Fair Vote Minnesota Board as well as the Vice Chair of the Minneapolis DFL, and I'm just so happy and proud to be supporting people like Keith Ellison and Governor Mark Dayton. Yeah. And they are just doing a great job for us. And I want to talk to all of you people that live in Minneapolis and those of you that live in St. Paul just about this year's election, because we got a great... And it's really simple for you that have to vote, get to vote, and take the time to vote in this election, because you get to rank your first choice. Then you get to make a second choice, and you get to make a third choice. And we want you to rank all those choices on the ballot so that your vote counts and you get a say in who represents you as mayor, in the city council, the park board, and the board of estimate and taxation. So there are 27 positions that are on the ballot in Minneapolis. So this is a duty that we all have to get to the polls on November 5th, know who your first choice is, know who your second choice is, know who your third choice is, mark your ballots. It's that easy, and then we will get to real democracy where 50% of the people get to say who's in office, not a plurality that's dividing our country. And that is the point, that we get there. It's that easy. Everybody got it? All right, thank you.
Thanks, Roanne. And so now let me announce it for the folks who came by. Say, everybody say thanks to Andy Snope for coming by, Meg Tunnell, Don Samuels, and Demographic Take Action. And now, my adopted big sister here, Carla.
Yeah, hey everybody. Did we do okay by you today? I want you to know that this is the eighth annual Labor Day picnic thrown by our Congressman, Ellison. Now, I'm going to warn you about this. I was going to kind of sneak up on you, but I decided I wouldn't. I decided I'd first tell you why I'm going to talk to you. In 8 years, we have never, ever made an ask. Right? We have never asked you for contributions. We have never asked for money. Am I right? Right. Well, I want to talk to you about that, and this is why. Now, all of us here were supporting Keith right away, right? He was our guy. And why was he our guy? He was our guy because we needed somebody other than just a vote. We didn't want just a Democratic vote in Congress. We knew we could get that. We wanted somebody who would organize. We wanted somebody who would change the national dialogue to a progressive dialogue. And we wanted somebody who would affect leadership. And what did we get? We got all three of them, right? Right, now, here's the deal. One of those things we got was Keith being in leadership. Keith is currently in leadership at the Democratic Party nationwide. Now, DL, does Keith being in leadership come for free?
Absolutely not.
All right, so does it cost us any money for Keith to be in leadership?
A lot.
How much, DL?
A lot.
A lot. All right, and what else? Let's talk about the organizing. Who here, how many votes did Franken win by? 318? 12. 312. All right, I want to see a show of hands of every person in this room that believes they personally got that 312 votes. Right? Well, you know what? Those 312 votes wouldn't have done any good if he hadn't gotten the 10,000 votes before that. He increased voter turnout in the Franken election by a minimum of 10,000 votes. Let's talk, hey, let's talk about Dayton. God love our governor. 8,000 votes. How many did Keith Ellison increase voter turnout by in that election? At least 10,000 votes. All right, so this money. We hire organizers. You know, everybody says Keith doesn't need my money, he's going to win. That's not the point. Keith uses your contributions to hire organizers to get out every single Democratic vote he can in the 5th District. And we're the 5th District. We're not across the river. We organize. All right. I'll get in trouble for that, but that's okay. So I'm asking this year. I'm the treasurer, and I serve food every year for you guys, and I love it, but I'm asking, can you make a contribution to Keith Ellison for Congress? Yeah. All right, where are my baskets? Come on. All right, we're going to have baskets. I love checks because it has all your names and your information on it and everything. But I also, when you leave here, I want you to think about something. I want you to think about being a sustaining contributor to Keith. You can give $5 a month. You can give $10 a month. It'll make a difference. All right, Keith, come back. Now we're going to do our favorite part of the picnic, the sing-along. Charlie Maguire.
I've been told by several people that it would only be fitting for me to introduce my kids to you. You guys mind that? Okay, so stand up, Isaiah. The guy with the Superman shirt, that's Isaiah, he's my oldest. The guy with the long dreadlocks right there, that's Jeremiah right there. Now, the big buff guy there is Elijah, he's the 3rd oldest. Elijah is an enlisted member of the United States Army, just returned from boot camp in NIT yesterday. He's a medic, and that's Elijah right there. You know, he was down in San Antonio, Texas, learning how to be a medic. He bought this big old cowboy hat. I'm surprised you didn't wear it. It's a big what is that thing? Is that a Stetson or something? Something like that. And then my youngest child, come here, Mira. This is Amira. This is the baby here. And Amira she is the president of the Citywide Student Council. How about that? And so
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light was so proudly he hailed in the twilight's last gleaming through broad stripes and bright stars, through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that Star-Spangled Banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hey folks, one quick announcement. We still got plenty of food, so please help yourselves. We've got plenty of food. We want to get it till it's gone. So thank you very much for coming.
Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, or
that sees beyond the years. Thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom land. Oh, ain't gonna let segregation turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let segregation turn me around. Gonna keep on walking, Lord, keep on talking, marching up the freedom line. Ain't gonna let injustice turn me around, turn me around, oh, turn me around. Ain't gonna let injustice turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, and marching up the freedom line. Ain't gonna let Jim Crow turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let Jim Crow turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom line. Ain't gonna let the jailhouse turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Oh, ain't gonna let the jailhouse turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom line. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom line. Was a Union maid who never was afraid of the goons and the ginks and the company finks and the deputy sheriffs who made the raid. She went to the Union Hall where a meeting it was called, and when the Legion boys came around, she always stood her ground. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the Union. I'm sticking to the Union. I'm sticking to the Union. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the Union. I'm sticking to the Union till the day I die. The Union maid was wise to the tricks of the company spies. She couldn't be fooled by the company stools. She always organized the guys. She always got her way. When she struck for higher pay, she'd show her card to the National Guard, and this is what she'd say. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the Union. I'm sticking to the Union. I'm sticking to the Union. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the Union. It's sticking to the Union to the day I die. You people who want to be free, just take a little tip from me. I'll get you a person who's a union person and join the auxiliary. Life won't be hard when you got a union card, a union man and a union wife, and the Union life. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the Union. I'm sticking to the Union. I'm sticking to the Union. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the Union. I'm sticking to the Union till the day I die. One more time. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the Union. I'm sticking to the Union. I'm sticking to the Union. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the Union. I'm sticking to the Union till the day I die. Like a ribbon of highway I saw above me. Yes, that endless skyway I saw below me. Oh, that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. Come on up, Irish, sing us. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Would you please welcome one of the young rising folk singers in Minnesota, Miss Iris Kaloche. Step right up, Iris. I roamed and I rambled and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of a diamond desert, and all around me a voice comes sounding. This land was made for you and me. Here we go. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Take it first. Then the sun comes shining, and I was strolling. Take it down. Oh, this land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking, I saw a sign there, and on the sign said, "No trespassing." But on the other side, you know what it said? It didn't say nothing. Oh no, that sign was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. On one sunny morning, in the shadow of the steeple, by the relief office,